So we're reviewing the statistics section for your test tomorrow. And what we're going to talk about first is the mode, the median, and the mean. And remember, the mode is the most occurring. It's the one that repeats the most. The median is the middle. And the mean is the average, and that's the one where you actually have to do the most. Oops, I slide that down so you can see. The average, you have to do the most work. You add them up and then divide by the number of numbers. I hope that makes sense. So for instance, in here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16 numbers. So when I find my mean, I'm going to divide by 16. So let's start with the super easiest. And I like to put my data in order because then it's really easy to find the most occurring and the middle. Those will come up very nicely. So I took the time to do that already. If you want to pause the video and get it in order, feel free to do that. But the mode, I put that first because it's the easiest one to find. In this case, I only have one that repeats itself, and so my mode is 1,440. Then I'll go on to the middle. In the middle, remember, if I'm looking at all my data, I will just start crossing out the biggest and the smallest. So I always start with the smallest, then the biggest, and keep working my way through. Then I 3 from the front, 3 from the back, 4 from the front, 4 from the back, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, and now I have 2 middle numbers. So for my median, I am going to take those 2 middle numbers, 1,515, and add 1,550 and divide by 2. Now, if I only had one middle number, then I would pick that middle number as my answer. But if I end up with 2 middle numbers, I have to add them up, 1,515 plus 1,550, hit equals, and then divide by 2. I'm finding like the average of the 2 middle numbers. So my median would be 1,532.5. So 1,532.5. Lastly, I'm going to find the mean, and remember the mean is the average. And so I said earlier I'm going to divide by 16. So I have to add up all these numbers, and I just take my calculator and add them up. 1,190, plus, and just go in and add them all. Key is that when I'm done there, I have to hit equals, so I have 24,810, and then I will divide that by 16. So my mean is 1,550.625. If it's a really ugly decimal, sometimes I'll round it. If it's not so bad, I will write down the whole decimal, and that's kind of up to you. If you want to do a little rounding, you can. Let's move on. Because we're going to do the same thing, find the mode, the median, and the mean, but this time we're going to have our data in a dot plot, and we're going to be making dot plots after we finish this problem. But remember, when you see a dot plot, the data is already in order. So where in number 1 I had to put it all in order, in number 2 it's already there for me. And so my mode just ends up being the tallest apart. And so you have to make sure when you make these that your dots are all the same size. In this case, I have 2 modes, and that's not unheard of. It's called bimodal. I have 3 dots on top of 56 and 3 dots on top of 75, so my mode is both 56 and 75. The median gets a little tricky here because I have to be careful when I'm crossing them out. So I have to remember that I work up, so from the bottom up, from the smaller up, but as I'm working this way, the last number that was put on, like if they're stacked, I have to go to the top. So I know that gets a little confusing, but so there's the smallest and the biggest. I crossed out 1 on each end. And I just keep working back and forth until I get down to either 1 middle or 2 middle numbers. So far I've crossed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the high end, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the small end. So low and then high, and then sure enough, here I am. My 2 middles are both at 75. So I could do 75 plus 75, hit equals and divide by 2, but hopefully you recognize that that is 75. Smack dab between 75 and 75 is 75. Now when I do my mean, again, I'm going to be adding everything up. So adding them all up, but when it's in dot plot form, I don't have to add each individual one because I know how many 56 I have. So I have 3 56s, so I do 3 times 56 plus, then I have a 59 plus, a 64 plus, a 67 plus, a 72 plus, 3 75, so I do 3 times 75, plus 76 plus 77 plus 78 plus 79 plus 81 plus 82, hit equals. So 1,128, and then I have to count the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So again, it was divided by 16. So I'll divide that by 16, and I get 70.5 for my mean. So those are the calculation part of your statistics section, the mode, the median, and the mean. But the last part we did was just plotting graphs. And so we're going to have 2 dot plots. And then on the other side of your review, we'll make 2 stem and leaf graphs, talk about those. And then lastly, we'll finish up with 2 box and whisker plots. So let's do the dot plots. The dot plots are pretty easy. I'm going to do this one, and I'll have you do the second one on your own. So remember, when you work through this, you need to know the smallest number, and then look through and find the highest number, and I need to make sure that I do a number line that goes from 3 to 19. So I make my number line, and then I'll start putting my dots on my number line. Even if, like, let's say there's no 5 in this data or no 7 in this data or whatever, I still have to put that number on the number line because we create something called gaps. So don't just put dots above only the numbers. I mean, don't just write the numbers that are in the list and only put those on your number line. You have to put everything on your number line, even if there's nothing there. So I'll just start with 4, just starting at the low end, 6, put a dot, 8, dot, got another 4, so I'll put one on top of that one, and a 7. Notice how I'm lining them up as neatly as I can. Got one above 19, 5, 3, another one above 4, 12, another above 3, then I have 2 above 8, above 7, and another one above 5. And so now I have all my data in order. The last thing that I want to do is make sure that I put my title on this, And so this is hits in a round of hacky sack. Don't forget your title, because when you take your test on that tomorrow, that's a point on your grade. Even though this next set is given in a different form, you're still going to list it the same way. Find your lowest age, highest age, set up your number line, and put your dots in. I'll let you finish that on your own. Up next is the stem and leaf plot. We're going to start it the same way. When you do a stem and leaf plot, you need to know the smallest, and this one we have in the table form, so you'll see me work through this one with the table form, and then you'll have to do the one in this next one but it's in list form. So in table form here, I still want to look for the lowest number, and it looks like my lowest number that I see is 39, and then I'll find the highest number. Looks to me like 65. So when I'm working with these, if I just have this nice 2-digit number, that'll make my stem go from 3 to 6. So I'll go 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll put my values in as leaves after this. Remember, the leaf part is just the number that follows it. So my smallest number was 39. I don't see anything else in the 30s, so now I'll look at the 40s. I have a 49, a 45, 41, and 47. So I'll do 41, 45, 47, and 49. Now I hope I got everything. I'm going to cross these out as I go. And I put them in order from least to greatest. Again, I want to try and line them up and keep them even. So keep my numbers about the same size. Now I'll go into the 50s. So when I start scanning through, I've got a 56, a 50, two 54s, and a 53. So the smallest was 50, then 53, two 54s. Line up your values, two 54s, and then 56 was my last one. So 56. So I did 56, 50, 54, 54. And 53. Make sure I got all those in there. And then lastly, I'll finish with my 60s. So 61, 62, two 63s, and then a 65. And so when I'm done with this, I want to title it Age, Assumed Office. And I also need to put a key. 3-9 equals 39 years I could put after that because it's an age. So I don't want to forget to put my key as well as my title. So your points will be based on the right stem, leaves neatly done in orders, your title, and your key. When you do your stem and leaf plot for the next data, I'm going to let you guys finish this one on your own, but your smallest number is 6,218, and the biggest number is 11,000, it looks like 11,458. The problem that we're going to have, 458, in this set of data is that I have too many numbers after my potential leaves. And so I would like my leaves to go from 6 to 11. So when or my stem, I mean 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But my stems have too many numbers after it. So what I'm going to have to do in this set of data, again, which I'm going to let you guys do, finish off on your own, is you're going to have to round all your data to the nearest If this is my thousands, I need one number after that for my leave, so I need to round to the nearest 100. So for example, this one would be 7,000. So next to 7, I would put a 0 to represent 7,000. And then for this next one, it would be 8,500, and then I'll let you continue. So you need to finish that one for your assignment today. And then our last set that we do, or last type of graph we did, was the last one that we learned, and that one is a box and whisker plot. And so that's our number 7, box and whisker plot. And so when we do a box and whisker plot, we have to find our 5-number summary. And our 5-number summary needs the lowest number, the minimum number. I need the median. I need the maximum number. And then I also need in the middle what I call the lower quartile, LQ, and the upper quartile. And so the lower quartile is the middle of the lower half, and the upper quartile is the middle of the upper half. So I need to put all of my numbers in order from least to greatest. So I'll start with my smallest number here. Looks like 6,291, 6,832, and I just keep going in and putting them in order. Looks like up next is 8,049, and then 8,522, 8,575, 8,000. I'm going to have to go down here. I'm going to spread over onto here. Sorry about that. 8,700. 8,600. 670. 8,721. Then I go into my 9,000s. 9,541. 9,936. 10,161 and 10,713. So now I have my data in order from least to greatest. Sorry about this, blocking in number 8. You're going to do 8 on your own, okay? So maybe don't write this on your paper, just sort of follow along and remember what we're doing. The minimum number is really easy to find. That one is 6,291, the smallest. The maximum is really easy to find, so if you can't do anything else, you should be able to do those two. And then I'm going to go ahead and find my median, so I cross off the smallest and the biggest, just like we did before. Keep working my way through until I get to the middle number. And it looks like I have one middle number, so my middle number is 8,670, and now I have to find the middle of the lower half and the middle of the upper half. Now if I only have one middle number, this one's done. I can't use it anymore. So now I'm going to look at this low end. Remember, if you do have 2 middle numbers, then you'll put the first middle number on the lower half and the second middle number on the upper half. But I only have one middle number, so I can't use it again. So now I start again, low, high, middle number, 8049, and I do the same thing on the upper end. Low, high, middle number, 9936. So now I have to approximate a good number line or draw out a good number line for this. And so what I'm going to do is use, I think it really would be very easy to just use, go by 6,000. So I'll start at 6,000 on my number line, and then 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, and 10,000. Well, I might have to go to 11,000. I do. 11,000. And then remember that we put dots on the min and max and lines on each of the lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. So a dot at about 6,291, a dot at about 10,713, and then a line at 8,049, a line at 8,670, and a line at 9,900. And I'm just approximating about where they are. I connect those lines to make my box, and I connect the box to the ends to make the whisker. I don't want to forget when I'm done, I need to put my title on. So this is injuries due to distracted driving. And so again, your job is going to be to finish up the rest of the problems on the review, and then we'll go through that again before you do your test tomorrow. So you need to finish problem number 4, make a dot plot. Most of you are very good at that. Number 6, make a stem plot. Make sure you round your data. And then number 8, make a box and whisker by finding the 5-number summary and then putting it onto a number line. I will see you all tomorrow when you take your test. Have a great day.